Do you have your iPhone with you right now?
Not on me.
That's Colin Albert.
All right, so we will have a voir dire on it.
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
Your Honor, I'm objecting on multiple grounds.
I'm not accusing you of this now, but if you had changed the time on that.
Objection.
Are you aware of that?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Can redact it afterward.
Or one person at a time.
I would ask for a voir dire to be done before these are admitted.
Okay, what do you say, Mr. Lally?
Could you please state your name and spell your last name?
Allie McCabe, MCCABE.
That's Allie McCabe, daughter of Hen McCabe. She's on the stand in trial number 1, and she's being questioned about the authenticity of the printout of the text messages that she sent to little Colin on that fateful morning. Let's watch.
So first, ma'am, I'm going to show you a 2-page document. Just ask you to go take a look at it and we'll go.
Okay.
And do you recognize that, ma'am?
This is from my phone, my text messages.
And the second page, what is that?
Colin's contact information.
Are those screenshots that you took from your phone and provided to the troopers in August of 2023?
Yes.
I'm also seeking to introduce it as objection that has to be heard.
Okay.
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
Your Honor, I'm objecting on multiple grounds.
And here we go. One of the most anticipated sidebars of this first trial, because those text messages indicate that little Colin Albert,
How are you?
was picked up by Allie at 12:10, which would be approximately 14 minutes before Karen Reed's SUV arrived. Let's keep watching.
One is that this is rank hearsay. It's being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. Secondly, and equally important, is that these screenshots are unreliable.
As soon as I initially saw this printout of the text messages, I knew they were fake. The font and the alignment looked off, and there was no bubbles here for little Colin Albert's text messages.
We don't know that they are what they purport to be. In other words, there are times listed there, but again, being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, which by an iPhone can be changed very easily by going into settings.
Our favorite Paisan Yannetti is arguing that the text messages should not be allowed because there's no way for the defense to authenticate whether or not they're real. One of the weirdest things about being an attorney is you have to become an expert in whatever the subject your lawsuit is about. Here, you need to figure out exactly how a text message from an iMessage would print out and if there are any misalignments that would indicate that they're fraudulent. When you examine the top of the original text message, you see all these icons. That indicated that it was printed out by something other than an actual screenshot. And it was then and only then that I learned that this is exactly how a printout would look if they were legitimately printed from an iPhone. Because it's a PDF, the font gets flattened and it looks off. And this totally looked off to me initially. And sometimes the gray in the bubbles is not printed as clearly as the blue, and that is what happened here.
So we don't have a forensic extraction of the phone. The police did not ask to actually take her phone and confirm that those times are actually accurate. They chose not to do that.
Yannetti is 100% right, and we'll cover that in a little bit. Because the icons at the top of the text messages are visible, we know that it had to be printed from a PDF printer, and that makes everything a lot clearer with regard to why it looks off.
Given that her phone is gone now, they robbed us of any ability to challenge those times through forensic methods. So I believe these are inadmissible in the form that they are in. If the court is inclined to overrule my objection, I would ask for a voir dire to be done before these are admitted.
Okay, what do you say, Mr. Lally?
Your Honor, what I say is that the witness on the stand is a participant in the conversations and can authenticate those conversations under Purdy. Secondly, I would say as far as any questions that counsel has to them, go to the weight and not the admissibility.
How long of a voir dire do you need?
10, 15 minutes.
All right, I'll give you a short voir dire.
Voir dire is a French term to speak the truth. Basically, it's just an ability to question a witness or a juror outside the presence of anyone else to ascertain perhaps if the person is qualified to be a witness, or in this case, if the witness can authenticate the actual text messages. Our good buddy Lally's arguing that the text message should come in as evidence, but the defense can attack the witnesses with regard to the authenticity, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's keep watching.
Your Honor, if I may, just for the sake of not coming back up, I also intend to introduce those two. They are also screenshots that she took for photographs of Colin Albert from February 11th.
Before they started the questioning of Allie outside of the jury, Lally told the judge that in addition to the text messages, he wants to introduce a couple of pictures that show that Colin Albert did not injure his knuckles after John O'Keefe was killed.
Essentially, what these are two separate photographs from the defense that show the Alberts' home. She was present during this event, so she can authenticate that's what Colin Albert looked like on February.
Who is the one?
And there we have little Colin Albert with his Aunt Coco. This picture was taken after Brian Higgins murdered John O'Keefe on the morning of January 29th. And it was taken before the picture for which Colin Albert had the bloody knuckles. And since the prosecution is alleging that this picture took place in between those two events, it proves that little Colin Albert didn't bruise his hands from punching John O'Keefe.
That's Nicole Albert.
All right. So we will have a voir dire on it.
Step out for just a few minutes.
You're also aware that it is possible to change the timestamp on any individual message, correct?
No, I'm not aware of that.
You go to settings and you go to general and you go to date and time. First of all, you can change the time zone of the message. Do you have your iPhone with you right now?
Not on me.
Not on. In addition to being able to change the time zone, you actually can change the hour and minute to whatever you want it to be. Are you aware of that?
No.
With regard to photos on your phone, you are aware that you can change the date and time of any photo in your photo app, correct?
Nope.
There is a little, when you go to your iPhone, there's a little I for information. And all you need to do is, I think it's for info or information.
It's one or the other.
To do is click on that, and you get a pop-up from the bottom that gives you the choice to alter the date and time. Did you know that?
No.
What the hell is Yannetti talking about? Of course, he's at a disadvantage because what they really want is the source data. And because the dopey Massachusetts state troopers never obtained her phone or little Colin's phone, they weren't able to access the actual data.
Next to that date and time is the word adjust, and that's all you have to click on. And you can change the time from 12:10 a.m., or you can change it from 12:40 a.m. to 12:10 a.m., or you can change it from 1:45 to 12:10 a.m. And it's that easy.
Yep. Now I know. I didn't know that. I didn't do that.
Allie's definitely smarter than me because I have no clue how to do it based upon Yannetti's questioning.
Have a moment.
Okay.
What we've come to learn about the authenticity of those printouts is they are most likely legitimate. Some of the reasons our expert cited was the precise spacing. When you have an actual printout, the spacing has to be exact. If you go in with Photoshop and alter it, generally the spacing will be off. And she also cited the proper spacing between the date and the times as well. And it was her opinion that these text messages were not altered. However, if little Allie or little Colin were able to actually change the time, and David Yannetti just told us how easy it was before the printout, then we would not know for sure if the actual text messages are legit. And that still is a question.
I'm going to allow this testimony. Your argument goes to the weight of the evidence, not its admissibility. But I did, under Commonwealth versus Tracci, want to give you your voir dire. All right, so let's bring the jurors back in.
Your Honor, before the jurors come back in, may I just retrieve the exhibits?
Yes, but I'd like to see counsel at sidebar while they're coming in.
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
What you did during the voir dire, you can do with this witness. You just taught her something, I guess. So she said, now I know. So it's couched in terms of either pre-voir dire or post-voir dire. That's fine. If it's not, Mr. Lally is going to get leeway to then say that you questioned on those things.
Yes, I understand. Of course.
Thank you.
What the judge is saying there is if you question little Allie about if she knows that she even can change the time on an actual text message, she just actually learned it here at the voir dire. If she is asked that and answers, yes, I know how to do it because she just learned from Professor Yannetti, then Lally can cross-examine her as to exactly when she learned it.
Of course, back in session. Please be seated.
Your Honor, I apologize profusely. I just need one more minute. I am so sorry.
Your Honor, the only thing I was going to bring up, I understand the court's ruling. We object, but I accept it, obviously. With regard to the photos, Your Honor, there is no need to have that date underneath the photo itself.
I didn't even notice that it was on there.
Apparently there was a date underneath the picture of little Colin where his knuckles were not bruised And Yannetti does not want that to come in because it is a representation as to time and there's no real way to authenticate it. Let's see what happens.
I'm just asking that that be cropped off. If he wants the photo in, she can testify to the date. That's hearsay. That should not be part of the photo.
Do you care?
I don't care. But again, I mean, she was there for it and can testify to the date that the photo was taken.
That's what I just said, as long as it's not on the exhibit itself.
Okay, so we'll remove it from the exhibit. Is it on a slide that you probably are going to put up on the screen?
It is, but I can advise Ms. Gilman she can put it on the screen, on the laptop, and enlarge it just for the photo, and then somehow.
Yes, as long as it's not visible to the jury, and we can redact it afterward.
Or one person at a time. She can do that. I'll give you a minute to let her do that.
On that date of January 28th and the 29th, when you arrived at the home on Fairview Road, you texted Colin that you were there?
Yes.
And after you texted him that, what, if anything, happened after that?
He responded saying okay, and then he came out to the car.
Looking at, there's sort of one side as text and one side as a blue bubble, is that correct?
Yes.
It is amazing how much you learn during a trial. When I first saw these, I was certain they were fake.
And if you know who is communicating with who as far as the sort of plain text outside of the bubble?
I'm the blue bubble, and he is the gray, whitish bubble. Yes, 11:54, and then I responded at 11:55.
And what did Colin say at 11:50?
You can get me now if easier. Okay, I am driving people home now.
What did Colin respond to that, and what time did he respond?
He responded, word, get me after.
Following the getting after, what if any response?
KK, okay, and here.
Here that you texted, what time was that read on the screenshot?
12:10 a.m.
And now that we know that these screenshots are most likely not altered in any way, if Allie really did pick little Colin up 14 minutes before John O'Keefe arrived at 34 Fairview, all of us that initially thought or still think that somehow little Colin decided to punch a 6'4", 45-year-old cop as he's walking out in the freezing cold at the beginning of a blizzard are wrong.
Did Colin respond to your text?
He responded at the same time saying, okay.
Were these also screenshots that you provided to troopers of the state police in August of 2020?
Yes. They were taken February 11th at the Alberts, Nicole and Brian's house.
Although they cropped out the date on what was being presented to the jury, little Allie was probably looking at a picture with the date on it, and she just said it was February 11th. Now they have an issue.
Objection.
No, I'm going to let her testify when they were taken.
And so February 11th of what year now?
2022. One of Nicole and Brian's sons were coming home from their Marines, so there was like a welcome home party with family and friends. Colin and my auntie Coco.
Where in the house this photograph was taken?
I believe they call it their library. Maybe it's the room in the back.
Because both pictures clearly indicate that little Colin's knuckles were not bruised, the picture a few weeks later showing his knuckles all bruised is completely irrelevant as to whether or not he injured his hand at all attacking John O'Keefe at the beginning of this blizzard.
You claim that you took a screenshot of a text conversation that you had with Colin Albert on January 29th of 2022, correct?
Correct.
Those were the screenshots that were just shown to this jury this afternoon, correct?
Correct.
The information on that screenshot actually existed on January 29th.
Correct.
It's fair to say that on January 29th, 30th, 31st, you did not turn over that screenshot to any law enforcement official.
No, I was never asked.
All of 2022, no investigator ever approached you to say, can I have a copy of that screenshot, correct?
Correct.
With regard to the timestamp on those messages, the conversation about I'm here, I believe, gave the time 12:10 a.m., correct?
Correct.
Are you aware how easy it is to change that time?
Oh no, here we go again.
No.
Are you aware that all you need to do is go from settings to general, and then there's a date and time that you can alter?
Objection.
Are you aware of that?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
You know that when you set up your iPhone, you have to choose a time zone, correct?
Correct.
And you always choose the New York time zone, because that's where Boston is, right?
Correct.
Are you aware that if you go into settings, general, and then date and time, you can change the time zone to wherever you're going?
I guess I didn't. Once I set my phone up, I have no reason to change the time.
Nor would any of us, our phones actually change the time zone when we cross over into a new time
In
zone.
addition to changing the time zone, you literally can choose any time that you want. You could make 1:45 a.m., 12:10 a.m. in about 3 seconds.
Objection.
Do you know that? Did you know that? No.
I'm not accusing you of this now, but if you had changed the time on that from a screenshot, we'd have no way of knowing, correct?
I guess.
Because what a screenshot ultimately becomes is like a photo, correct?
Correct.
It's not like you can edit it, right? I mean, the most that you can do is what we saw on the other photo that was displayed, which is kind of crossing out with a magic marker somebody's face or a time, right?
It sounds like Yannetti never heard of Photoshop or AI.
That would be how you'd have to alter it, right?
Correct.
You are aware that you can change the date and time of any photo in your photo app, correct?
Nope.
When you go to your iPhone, there's a little I for information. I think it's for info or information. All you need to do is click on that and click on settings and then to general, and then you get a pop-up from the bottom that gives you the choice to go into settings. Next to that is the word adjust, and then you get a pop-up that gives you the choice to click on that, and you can change the date. Next to that date and time is the word adjust, and that's all you have to click on. And you can change the time from 12:10 a.m., or you can change it from 12:40 a.m. to 12:10 a.m., or you can change it from 1:45 to 12:10 a.m. And it's that easy. Did you know that?
No.
Who wouldn't know how to do something that easy? Poor Yannetti was at a disadvantage here, not fully understanding the technology or having access, more importantly, to the source data. Admittedly, my initial assessment of the text messages was completely wrong. After doing the research, I've come to realize that when they are printed in that format, they don't look like text messages as you see on your iPhone. Another great job by Corey Hopkins getting these sidebars and the trial channel putting together the audio for us to learn exactly what was going on behind the scenes during this particular questioning. But no matter what, we will never, ever stop producing these videos until the real killer,
Brian Higgins,
is brought to justice. This crime was very simple to solve because it took place within a very small area over a very short period of time with a very limited amount of suspects. One or more of these 10 people has to be the killer of John O'Keefe. That's how easy this is. Once you remove the kids and the McCabe's, you're down to just 3 suspects: Brian Albert, Higgy Bear, and Chloe. Since Chloe's a good dog, she didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I'm a good dog. I didn't do it.
So that leaves just 2 suspects, Brian Albert and Higgy Bear. But of the 2 Brians, only one had the means, motive, and opportunity to kill John O'Keefe. And that's our old cuddly but violent Higgy Bear. Once we had all the facts and didn't jump to conclusions, do you see how easy it was to solve this crime?